Okay, so the last build to catch video, it only took me a couple hours to make the bait, and I caught a fish not long after that. I feel more comfortable now doing this one, but this one is going to be more complicated. This will be a jointed bait. Yeah, this one I need to draw out before I start making it. I need a buoyant wood. It's pine. That's mahogany. I'm looking for cedar. I don't think that's cedar. Okay, this is already taking too long. Come here. That's cedar. Okay. Cut out a clean little section of cedar. This is what the lure is going to be made out of. A little jointed topwater mouse. Wake bait. By the way, 10:51 right now. Started this at like 10:40. I'm going for some tapers towards the nose and the tail here. This is still going to be a pretty wide bait, but I'm going to take off a little bit of material here. I think it'll make it just look better overall. There, it's already got some little ears. We're going for a very short, stubby little lip for this mouse. Probably just the length of this little Dremel bit. The diameter of it will be the length of the lip. I just find a flat side on the piece of plastic that you're using here. I mark the edges of the lure lip and then take it off straight so you don't lose your mark. Center the stencil or whatever you're using and draw it out. And then finish it off straight up to the marks that you made. And I'm gonna cut that out. Cut the lip out to its final shape. Looks good. Gotta start chamfering these edges now. I think what I'm gonna do is carve this entire lure body out and then cut the joint on the bandsaw after that. Oh boy. Cedar can be dirty sometimes, and by dirty I mean not easy to carve. It's a weird choice of words, but you see what I mean, how it's tearing out right there. When you run over it with your blade, it's all gross, and I don't know, it just gives me a bad feeling. You gotta be careful. Go slow and kind of slide the knife as much as you can. It's the only way to get a clean cut. Sanding helps too. I'll be doing plenty of that. But yeah, if you go against the grain with cedar at all, you're gonna tear out. I tell you what. Ooh. Do you see that? Ew. Oh, this is the disgusting part. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna stop making all these sound effects while I'm carving and scoot the camera back a little bit. I'm sorry everybody, that was weird. The reason I chose cedar instead of balsa, because ideally this would be balsa because it's an even more buoyant wood. In a tiny bait like this, you have to be very concerned about what your buoyancy is. But I went with cedar because cedar has some holding power when it comes to using a twisted wire line tie. I thought I had some to show you, but I don't. Because I'm not gonna bother trying making this a line through today. I need to just be able to glue something into the body of this bait and it hold. So I'm using cedar for that. That's the little mouse. Is this a mouse? Isn't there a animal that's like a mouse but it's tiny, smaller than a mouse? Like a shrew, is that what it's called? This could be a shrew. I need to look up if there's such thing as a shrew. 1 second. Okay, so a shrew is like a mole. That little thing. That's a shrew. It's got a pointy nose and like little kangaroo legs. So this isn't a shrew. I'm definitely gonna make that into a lure one day. But this little thing is not a shrew. I don't like cedar. It smells good when you're working with it, but it's got some thick wood grains that are just super annoying. Like you're sanding these, and the dark parts are like way harder than the lighter parts. This is like powder compared to this, which is like a hardwood. And so when you're working with it, the lighter parts get sanded away super quick and the harder parts are more resilient, so you get this bumpiness. I'm sure if you've worked a cedar before, you know what I'm talking about. How adorable! Still a little bit of smoothing off to do, but little mouse. I just realized mice don't have pointy ears, so I'm rounding them off. They actually have really round ears. Got some ear sockets. Is that what you call them? We put some ear sockets on this mouse. Oh no! Oops. Okay, now I'm gonna hollow the head side out a little bit over here and maybe bring this side to a bit of a point. Probably not a point, probably just make it convex because we need it to wiggle. I actually did have some twist wire hook hangers, and these are just little hook hangers that were wires that I just twisted with my drill around a little Allen key. You drill out a pilot hole and glue it in and twist it in. That's going to be the hardware on this bait. Now that it's all carved out, I'm going to drill the pilot holes and drill the lead hole. We're really moving along. It's 11:44. It's not even noon yet. We got this bait carved out. On this bait, I'm going to put the line tie lower on the nose to pull the nose up while you retrieve. It's only gonna have one connection in the middle. I'm not gonna put two. Okay, now I gotta drill a lead hole out in this bait. This is a 1/4 inch bit. I have to hold it by hand, push it in so I don't break these ears off. And I didn't have my lead pot plugged in, so I gotta wait for the lead to heat up. Might as well get this lip glued in. Does that seem like a lot of lip to you guys? I think I'm going to take some of that off. I guess if all you're doing is eyeballing it, that seems a lot more appropriate for a bait this size. Okay, I'm going to glue this lip in. Let's go see if the lead pot's heated up. Nope, I'm not worried at all though. This bait's barely going to have a paint scheme because I'm going to leave the wood grain because that looks good for a mouse bait. Just leave the brownish color and you'll be able to see the wood grain, and that's cool. Maybe give it a gray belly, maybe a white belly. I know that black is a really good topwater color because it's super visible against the sky. Maybe I'll give it a black belly. We'll see. We're ready. There. 6 drops of lead. I don't measure lead by the drops, but that's how many drops are in here. And of course, we are using baking soda and super glue to cover up this lead hole. It was already pretty much flush with the bait, but this will just cover up any of the little tiny crevices that were left. Now I'm just going to add in all of the hardware that I can up to this point before I start sealing the wood and painting. Next thing to do is to seal this bait, and I'm just going to use super glue to do that. I've got some paper towels on hand to apply the super glue and then wipe off the excess really quick if I apply too much. You don't want to be applying too much because it'll seep into the wood grain and it'll saturate it too much and you'll make your bait too heavy. You want to keep the buoyancy of the wood. Here we go. And just like that, there is a sealed piece of a lure. A little bit of sanding and it's ready for painting. Super quick. I'm gonna go hang this up. This piece will be a bit more tricky because I don't want to get a bunch of super glue all over the lip. Once you go through an initial burn of the super glue on your finger, it won't happen again. You can keep using that finger. But the first time kind of hurts, so be careful. I'm going to sand these 2 pieces a little bit, get them exactly how I want them. We're going to do a little bit of painting. And here we go. Took a little break, just ate lunch, It's 107. This is going to be a fast paint job. I'm going with white on the belly. I'm keeping it realistic. I think black would look stupid. I ended up painting the whole thing white. Why? Because I changed my mind a lot. And I'm just gonna go with some gray on the top. I know the wood grain's gone and that's kind of sad and stuff, but I ended up changing my mind because I had some ink from drawing the lines on this bait that I'm gonna carve to left over. That would have been left over and visible if I left the wood just visible too, so I changed my mind and I painted the whole thing white. It's gonna be gray on the top, it's gonna fade into like a super light brown, and then it's gonna be white on the belly with some black dots on the eyes. Super simple still. Oh, probably some pink around the ears too. Probably other stuff I'm not saying, but here we go. There's a smidget of gray on the top. Next I'm going with a color called Wicked Brown. A good all-around brown is what this color is. When you need to shoot some brown, that's what this color's good for. A mouse is kind of splotchy and very tan. It's not brown. I need to go with a tan. See, that's brown. That's bad. There, that's better. I'm gonna hit that with the torch really quick. It's time to clear coat with a UV clear coat. The best way to get a usable clear coat in a half an hour. You know what? I'm not done yet. I need to try something. I'm going to try to use a hand brush and paint fur on this little bait. This might not work. I think the key is to kind of keep your strokes an equal distance away from each other, but still random. I should probably show this on camera, right? It's probably going to need some highlights too, with a lighter color. That's probably what it's missing, and why I'm kind of freaking out, because it's not looking that good. I'm going to finish up here, show you what it looks like when I'm done. I'd say that's a little better. A lot closer to the fur look, you know. Since I wasn't able to keep the wood grain, I say this is the next best thing. So for this bait, I'm going to dip the whole thing, even the lip, just as kind of an experiment to see how that works, how it looks and everything. Yeah, this stuff is like gel. When it's first applied, then it all slowly drips off. It's all done dripping. Going in the UV tank. Chamber. Whatever. $1:57. It was 10:51 when I started, and it's 2 o'clock now. So 3 hours. A little over 3 hours. Not bad. This is making me think like I could make anything in a day. Even a big swim bait, you know? If I really had my stuff together and a plan and executed it efficiently, I feel like I could make anything, any lure in a day. That is a really bold claim. Anyway, we're gonna wait for that. It's gonna be about half an hour, and I'll check on it. Once that clear coat's set, we'll piece this bait together and get out as fast as we can and catch a fish. Oh, there's one more thing to do. I need to tie a little feather on the back of a treble hook to resemble the tail. So we're gonna do some fly tying in this video. Where's my fly tying stuff? Okay, found it. This should be pretty simple. Right about that length. You like this technique? Oh, I'm supposed to base it. Oh, my bad. I'm such an amateur. All right, now I'm gonna put the feather on. I would do that fancy knot where you like loop it around somehow in some way and then let go of something and it cinches in nice and you got a perfect little knot, but I don't know how. Chelsea does, I don't, but I'm just gonna put some super glue on this. I mean, I could try. You all are gonna laugh at me. You know what, I'm gonna tie my own knot. This is the Marling Baits fly tying knot. Come through here, loop it twice. Don't let it fall off the hook. You're witnessing some greatness right here. There. That ain't going nowhere. Done. And there is the mouse tail. Not the correct color, but I needed something back there and this is all I had, so. Okay, I think the clear coat's good to go. There's the first piece. There's the second. I'm gonna put some gloves on just in case this isn't completely set, and then I'm gonna put the bait together. Just making sure the two connection pieces fit still. I don't see why they wouldn't, but I'm just making sure. And these two pieces are going to be connected with, or they're going to be secured in with 5-minute epoxy. You want to get some in the pilot hole first, then you want some on your threads. And there. I need to clean up the epoxy around that joint before it sets, or else I'm going to have a really stiff joint. You don't want any in the eyelets. There it is. Came out to weigh 0.26 ounces, so 1/4 ounce. In the last video we had this bait. This bait also weighs 0.26 ounces, the little crappie. That's how big it is in comparison. Let's go see how it runs. It is 3:33 right now, by the way. Just got out here trying to catch a fish. I'm gonna make one adjustment to this bait, and that is put a split ring on the nose. I have to take one off of a different bait. This might help it a little. It's not having a ton of action. It does have a little butt wiggle, but we'll see if this makes a difference. Oh, that helps. That helped quite a bit. There's a hit right there. Wow. I just accidentally caught a bullfrog minnow. That really messed him up too. You can see he's just developing some legs here. Sorry, buddy. I think he'll get eaten. That is kind of weird, a bullfrog tadpole. Did I say minnow? I meant tadpole. Went after this. Does that count? If that counts, we caught a fish at 3:38, but I don't think that counts. Let's go for a real fish. Got one. Ah, oh, dang it. I got a little too excited and tried to flip him up on the bank. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Even though I probably caught just like 1,000 different life forms in that clump of moss. So far I'm kind of getting my butt kicked. 4 o'clock right now. Hopefully we get something today. We kind of already did. Got a tadpole and almost pulled a bass in. Getting a little worried. Got one. Don't shake it. Ooh, that took a very long time. Yeah, these bass are aggressive. Ooh, and he pooped. Okay, what time is it? 4:50. Challenge complete. Bass like tiny mice. It's official. Not a bad one. Thank the Lord. We caught one. Took a while. Not too bad at all. I got that hit right at the beginning, and then I got that bass hooked up not too long after that, and then dropped off and we lost it. But then probably another 45 minutes of fishing after that, half hour, 45 minutes, and then we got another. And we were able to bring it in on the little mouse. Can't beat that, right, Chip? Right, Chip? Sometimes he really doesn't care. Yeah, let me know how you guys like these shorter one-day build videos. I really like it. Builds up my arsenal really quick too. Arsenal, wow. Yeah, I think all of those tadpoles are really feeding those bass well, and it's getting more difficult this time of the year to get the bass to bite out of that pond, but it's still a good pond. There's smallmouth in there, a whole bunch of tadpoles, and largemouth. That's all I've caught so far. Oh, now you want to be my friend, Chip? Smell the stinky pond on my shoes? I'm gonna end this video. On to the next bait. Chip! Bad dog! Get out, drop it. Sneaky, sneaky. Good boy. I'll wash those shoes off. What is this? Cool. Is that for you, Chip?